Well, I always end asking my guests if you were stuck in an elevator and you were given a choice of a movie to watch while they get the elevator fixed, what movie would you ask to watch?
Boomerang.
Okay, wow.
Boomerang. Has to be Boomerang. Boomerang. Oh my God, I love that movie. I love like the 90s. I love Eddie Murphy. I love Halle Berry. Halle Berry is actually from my hometown. Okay. She's from Bedford. Yeah, so it would have to absolutely. And then the music. Oh my God, there's a song in there. It's called Heaven. I go, spending time with you, la la, just like heaven. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I love that song. So I love the soundtrack. That was the New Jack Swing era, which I absolutely love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. And I guess the second question was always, if they had to say, okay, we're getting a movie in to put on, what song would you want to play before the movie comes on? What would it be then?
What song would I want to play before the movie comes on?
Yeah, before they put on the movie, they said, hey, we'll play a song for you.
Ooh. I'm going to say, see, that's a hard choice because it would depend on what kind of mood I'm in. Like, do I want to hear something sexy? Do I want to hear something inspiring? Do I want to hear something like, what do I want to hear? Do I want to hear something to rile me up? Like, what do I want to hear? There's all these different ways that I can go, but.
Well, most people think about if you had your song that this is my song, life or death, I gotta play my song. I mean.
Oh, my song?
I mean, no, not your personal song, but a song like.
Jesus. I don't. It might not be made yet. I think I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go make that song. I'm gonna go make that song. There's so many different things that I can pick. You know what I mean? For different reasons. So, that's just too hard of a question. But I'm gonna go make it like that for sure.
So before the song comes out, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it, you can think of a good. Mine is Later in My Life, Michael Jackson. Night and day.
That's a good one.
so that's that's how. So just wondering if there was a song that you're like, okay,
That's a really, really good one. You know what? I can't. This is so much. I can't do it.
You can figure things.
Jeez Louise. When I think of all of them, because I just like all different. At least can I just pick an artist? If it had to be an artist, it would be Nat King Cole. So whatever he's singing, I'm happy with it.
Okay, so we've got a lot of his tracks.
You know what? I'll pick. the Christmas song. I'll pick when Nat King Cole sings. Though it's been said many times, many ways.
Merry Christmas.
That song.
Okay.
Nat King Cole. That's just this is magic. Every time Nat King Cole sings, I'm just smiling. You know what I mean? If I was alive during that time, Nat.
Yeah.
That would be all me. I love that man. Oh. Nat King Cole.
I've probably done over 40 of these, and this is the longest I've had someone come up with a track. I'm like, fuck it.
That is hard. You have to understand, I listen to so much music all the time. It's so hard to pick something like that, but if it would have to be Nat, and anything he sings, I'm happy.
See, I said Lady in My Life, my number one. Christopher Williams, All I See is in my top three, and Luther's House Is Not a Home. So I know that these are like three songs I always cherish, but Michael's The Lady in My Life is in fact, it's so powerful that I don't listen to it too often, so I don't want to sort of spoil it. It's like, okay, every 2 months I can have a little snippet of it and put it.
I have that too.
yeah. But we spent a long time. I appreciate the time. It was really interesting, great listening and talking to you. Just hearing your journey, hearing, it's very fascinating story that you have and stuff, and and I can't wait to see how the music that comes out sort of mirrors your colorful, inspirational life that we've heard today and stuff. I know before we met up, you mentioned about going into mental health, but and that didn't work out. But you also mentioned about you had a friend who does other types of therapy. Was that something you were thinking about too?
Yeah, no, I was getting, y'all. I was in school for psychology. I just love the mind. I love how the mind works. I love to get into all of those different things, behavior. I just love all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But the music was calling, you guys. I couldn't fully commit myself to that because I would want to get back in the studio and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to stand out with this music, I have to go in 100%.
Yeah.
I can't do anything else. Yeah. And I love doing other things, but I had to do that and get that done.
Yeah.
And then, and I did, on the way, I met wonderful, amazing, beautiful friends that, take it up. So I get to live vicariously through them.
Yeah.
And you're next. I'm calling you to have talks. And you're going to walk me through your life. As a therapist, I just love therapy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of interviews I've had with recording artists, and they forget how they got to where they are, and we're going back and like, yeah, I met Skip 20 years ago, and wow, I didn't, and so almost as if it's quite easy, so easy to get caught up into today. And not forget how what you were made of and what got you there, especially if you're running through stuff. And I think when I went to college in Alabama and junior college in Alabama before moving to Wisconsin and LA. And one thing I noticed, my own gift was just ability to listen and just to talk, just get people to open up and just be. It was just, and I think as a younger kid in college, I probably didn't notice it was a gift because because you had girls saying, "Oh, my boyfriend did this," and like, okay, well, I mean, but it just seemed very natural that they could talk, and I'm listening, and I can just prompt them, and they're talking. I didn't realize that I just loved hearing stories, and so it took a while. I mean, that I've moved around to becoming a therapist, where I'm sitting down listening to people's stories. Now that can be boring after a while, but doing this with musicians like yourself and artists and hearing your stories helps me just get away from the day-to-day treating depression and anxiety, and also almost just reconnecting and my passion of music and hearing stories the same way, but also at the end trying to say, there is almost trying to get them to remember there's a purpose. You've got a gift that I can't do, and that you can't take it for granted. And try and use it to really change lives. As a Christian, I'm always connected to King David, who played his harp and he drove out an evil spirit from Saul just by playing music. He didn't have to say funny words. He didn't have to do all. He just played music, and that's always told me that music has so much power to heal, to restore. But some songwriters and singers don't recognize that. Whether you're Christian or not, I don't think they recognize the power. They just see the money, they see that, and they're like wooing the crowds, but you don't realize that you could make a difference in somebody's life. That you don't. So I'm hopeful that through this medium, I try and get them to remember their first love and think about how they can use their giftings going forward.
try not to cry. That was so beautiful. I appreciate you for doing that work. That is a beautiful path that you're taking, and that's so valuable. You're such an asset from being a listener and connecting people back to their purpose. So I want to thank you on behalf of them and behalf of myself. That's just beautiful work. I love that. Oof. Jesus. Okay.
Maybe you can write a song. Maybe you can write a song. But anyway.
I gotta write that elevator song.
Yeah, write the elevator, and I'll be willing to listen to it and think, okay, that's a good one. But really, thank you. It'll probably be in an hour and 40 or almost 2 hours. It's going to take me a minute to edit and stuff like that before it comes out. So I'm not sure when it'll come out and stuff. But maybe towards just before your release of your stuff, and we'll bring in a little sections here and there and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely appreciate the time and being, forthcoming and stuff. And I thought maybe, some people might have thought, that Leah story, do I hold it back in? But you gave us something that was really intriguing. But in a sense, it mirrors a lot of that sense that songwriters, creative people are tapping into something that most of us don't. And it's almost like, and Paul McCartney said he came down one day, saw his wife drinking tea, and then he making breakfast, and yesterday just came in, it's almost like downloaded like Neo and Matrix. He was just like, whoa. And that's how he wrote. He did. And I'm like, that's not fair. That's not, it's not fair. I can go to songwriting school and I can try, and I'm playing this, but for your songs to download in your head and like, oh, here's a #1 world hit, just I didn't do anything. That tells me that you've been given something that we don't all have, and I think if you don't recognize it as a gift and take advantage and nurture it and see, well, I've got this gift, I can make a living out of it, but how can I use it for the betterment of other people? It just seems unfair. So yeah, just download a song, write it. It's like, I was talking to,
like I said, everybody has a gift. They just have to tap into it. And when you say that your gift is listening, I think that there's things that you're hearing, maybe that you might not even realize is a gift because you've always had it. But I think you can hear people's energy. I think you can hear how they feel about certain things, and that helps you to heal them because you're connecting them back to the frequency that gets them where they need to be back inspired to live life and to heal themselves and other things of that nature. So, everybody can't hear that. If you ask a normal question, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm fine. You hear that differently than the rest of the entire world, which is why you're good at doing what you do. You're hearing the energy. You're hearing the truth, in spite of what they're telling you. You can hear how they really feel. You can hear that energy and you can address it, because we can't fix problems if we don't know that there is a problem. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you actually being able to hear that and know, like, let me go in there and kind of bring this person to see, and then, identify and then move forward in what's best for them. So I think that's a superpower. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's amazing. And I think that, it's different from everybody else. And I think you're in your purpose. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and appreciate your time and stuff. But yeah, I'll be keeping watching about you and stuff. And once we're getting ready to come out, and I'll let you know and stuff. But it's been great. I mean, I've looked forward to this, strangely enough. And you haven't come out with anything, but I just thought, yeah, she's really interesting. Everyone seems like, let me catch the wave and see what's going on here. It's like a film that only a few people have seen, and you're like, well, let me go watch it and stuff.
Yeah. You're doing your thing. You're listening for the, hey, I think I hear something. Yeah. I'm going to get that before y'all hear it. Yeah.
No, so yeah. I've had great guests, but it's been fascinating with you and stuff. So I appreciate everything, and we'll be keeping in touch and stuff, and looking out for November 17th for a mixtape, and we'll see how we'll get the keychains and stuff and stuff.
Okay, thank you so much. I had fun. I appreciated this so much.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad, and but you've really given us a lot, and looking forward to hearing some more stuff. All right then. Have a good one.